On this week's episode, we discuss Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle and also have a discussion about technology in general. Happy listening. Welcome to this week's episode of the Books, Booze, and BS podcast. I am your host, Mike, and this week I'm joined by Sarah and Katie. Say hello.
Hey.
Hi.
This week we'll be discussing Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. But first, we'll start with some housekeeping. What's everyone drinking this evening? Sarah?
I was going with kind of the theme of the book, and I'm drinking Clouds of Delusion. It is a porter milk stout with peanut butter and marshmallows made by a local brewery down the street from my house, Coles Road Brewing.
How is it?
It's very good. I bought the 4-pack after drinking it there,
Huh?
so it's a good one. It's not as good as Cluster Nutter because it's not as peanut butter-y, but it's just as good, if that makes sense. But it's not as
It's
peanut
different.
butter.
Yes.
Yes.
Katie?
So I really tried to be different this week, and I tried a concoction prior to the recording of this of pickle juice and citrus vodka and water, and it was just not good. So, but I did drink a little bit of that. So in typical fashion, I went back to just flavored vodka with a little bit of tea and water, which is what I always drink. But I
like
tried.
you tried to be adventurous.
Yeah.
I
Although
did.
pickle juice is a big swing.
It is. But I mean, I love pickle juice. Like, I keep a quart in my fridge so I can drink it like as a hydration tool. So I was really surprised that I didn't like it. But anyway,
And it is a Monday night. You just want what you know is good.
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
As runners, we often use pickle juice as a hydration tool.
As a drinker, I use pickle juice as a hydration tool.
I am drinking a margarita because I had an open container of Ripe in the fridge. So
Nice.
it just seemed
Nice.
resourceful to use, but was already in the fridge.
And it's very summery today, so that feels right.
Yeah, I was in my office today. I'm like, why is it so fucking hot in here? I'm like, oh, it's because it's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yes, I said the same thing. My office is in a sunroom, and I was at home today, and I was like sweating because the sun just beats down on me. And then I looked at my weather app, and I was like, it's 90 here. And then I was like, holy shit, it's 90 in Hartford as well, because I have y'all on my list since I visit there frequently. That's
Yeah,
crazy. It's too early for that shit.
Yeah, and it's only for a couple days, and then it's going to be like rainy and cold this weekend. So,
That's fine. I'll be in France.
Oh, that's fine. You'll be in France. We're all excited.
Thanks, Mike.
No, I really am excited for you. I love your travels.
Yeah.
Dessert of the week was a strawberry shortcake brownie, which, funny story, when I made it, it's made with cake mix. And Brendan's like, there's something wrong with this cake. And I'm like, well, it's because it's a brownie. And he goes, oh, that makes more sense. Sarah, I know you made it. I don't think Katie made it because we caught her right after her Instacart order.
That's true.
So, Sarah, what did everyone think?
I did make it. First off, it was really easy and kind of fun to make. I always like it when you can throw a bunch of stuff in the food processor. And then it was really good. I made it again for my in-laws. And I think, honestly, you couldn't have picked a more perfect recipe for my husband and my father-in-law. Their eyes just kept on lighting up, and they didn't want to eat dinner. They just kept on eyeing the dessert. So everyone loved it. I've already been told I have to make it again. And yeah, they're big cream cheese frosting fans. And it basically tasted like the strawberry shortcake ice cream bars, in my opinion. So rave review.
I was at the store. They had two different strawberry cake mixes. One was regular, one was strawberry funfetti. And I was like, well, obviously I'm going to get the funfetti.
Obvious.
And yes, it was delicious and super easy to make, like you said, Sarah. So, Katie, you're up for making it.
I would like you to figure out how to make the toasted almond ice cream bars in the same fashion of brownie cake thing.
Challenge accepted.
Thank you.
I'm writing it down.
I was going to try to Google it, but I'm like, I'll just ask Mike to send it to me somehow.
And what was everyone's best bite of the past week, Katie?
So Marshall and I have been on a huge, really successful kick of not eating out. So mine are kind of simple, but still delicious. So at Aldi, they have these deli pickles. And for whatever reason on Instacart, they don't have the atomic version, but I know they're there in the store. And I put a note every week, if they have the atomic version, please get them. And it's been probably like 3 months, but I finally got the atomic version delivered. So those atomic pickles, I like ate half the container as soon as I got them because I was so excited. But in addition, I also had some cinnamon bread with a Dubai chocolate spread on it that I ate for breakfast yesterday morning. I'm also all from Aldi, not sponsored, but it was also super delicious. So I think the atomic pickles were just because I hadn't had them in so long, and then the cinnamon bread with that Dubai chocolate spread was just, well,
So
decadent and delicious.
two things. One, I'm intrigued. It's a very random combination, the Dubai chocolate and cinnamon bread. But now I want to try it. And two, oddly, I was in the grocery store this week in the bread aisle and I could smell the cinnamon bread. And I also bought a loaf of cinnamon bread.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really delicious. We thought it was cinnamon raisin bread, but it was just cinnamon bread, but it worked perfect. I've also had that bread with just butter too, which is also delicious. But
That's what I had for breakfast this morning. Sarah, best bite?
So I have to go with the strawberry dessert from the thing. It was just so good, and we're having the last of it after this podcast recording, and I've been looking forward to it all day. It basically really just tastes like summer,
I
and
have I have it on a plate right next to me.
nice.
My best bite, it was between two places. So I was in Nashville last week and I had really good tacos from one place and then I had really good barbecue from another place. So two totally different, but two very delicious things. All right. And so I think that brings us to our discussion on Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. Like usual, we'll do our round table. We'll talk about favorite quotes, what you liked about the book, what you didn't like about the book, favorite scenes. We will start with, since I know she has 16 pages of notes, Sarah.
So yes, I do have an obscene amount of notes and quotes actually, because I was so surprised by this book. I was coming off reading a very good series, and I was worried that any book I read next I would just be bored with, and this proved that that was not the case. I very much loved it. It was different, interesting, weird, compelling. It reminded me a lot of Chuck Palahniuk's surreal, offbeat type of books like Fight Club and Invisible Monsters. And Chuck Palahniuk was one of my favorite authors, probably like all through high school and college. So it threw me back to that because I haven't read books like that in a while. I definitely wanted to keep on reading throughout it all. The characters were you quickly fell in love with the main character and his friend and boyfriend. And I always get worried when it comes to horror because it is not my genre. I don't do really scary, really slasher, but this had the perfect amount of creepy and gross mixed with like it could really happen. So it did remind me a lot of like Black Mirror type genre where you're like, holy shit, this could be true. And so basically the premise of the book, it's really, again, I took a lot of notes because
Spoilers. This is
yeah,
spoiler alert.
yeah, packed in less than 300 pages. Chuck like builds an entire world, and there's so many small things and so many big things, but basically the premise is Misha, he is a screenwriter, and he gets told he has to kill off his main gay character couple, and he does not want to do that. So that's the whole concept of burying your gays. Basically, it comes from the network. The algorithms tell them that, you know, that people don't want to see happy endings for certain types of people. And Misha's just like, screw that. No. So then from there, things just kind of get a little wild. And I don't even know how to summarize it all, but basically, it ends up being data algorithms, AI taking over. And I'll let Mike and Katie tell a little bit more of the, you know, storyline, I guess. of that part if they want to get into it. But when it comes to passages, I'll just read through a couple of them because they kind of point out some of the things, the summary of the book, I guess. One of my favorite characters was Zeke, who is Misha's boyfriend. He's like, he's described as being very handsome but casual. And so the quote was, he doesn't need to be anything to anyone, content to simply exist as the strong, warm, unadulterated version of himself. And I immediately could think of a few people from my past that sums up that. Later on in the book, Misha's going for a walk. So basically, his horror movie characters are coming to life. And one of them is stalking him, and he's not sure if it's a crazy fan. He's not sure if someone hired someone to put him up to it. So he goes for a walk to clear his mind. And the quote is, instead, I simply let the ideas tumble around as an unrestrained mess, allow them to crash in ways I never would have considered under the scrutiny of logical focus. Eventually, order will form on its own, little kernels of brilliance or bullshit gradually falling into place. I thought that was a nice way to summarize. I'm sure I'm not a writer, but I'm sure Mike can speak to that. But I know for me, I'm a graphic designer. So sometimes taking a walk and getting away from things, that's where you find some of your best moments. Let's see, what other quotes do I have? One of the cool parts I thought about this book is he has flashbacks, and it kind of shows where some of his horror characters came from, but also it explains a lot of him he's semi-closeted, he's I think he called it LA out, where he's out in circles in LA, but people at home don't necessarily know that he's gay. And so he's describing an incident from when he was a teenager with a friend of his. And he said, every decision we make ends up cascading into others, affecting our lives in ways we can't possibly comprehend. So it's kind of the butterfly effect. And then the last quote I'll go with this is towards the end of the book. And it's talking about how, so at that point, again, spoilers, AI is kind of wreaking havoc and doing terrible things, but it's all being controlled, quote, quote, by the board of the network. And so the quote is, the power imbalance we've all known was lurking has mutated well beyond any previous conflicts of just rich and poor, which now seems downright quaint by comparison. Fresh weapons have entered the fray, machines with the ability to build capital that much more efficiently. Which to me, the monsters were scary enough. One of the guys, he was called the Smoker, and he had no eyelids, which just that description alone is creepy. But you have literal characters that are scary, but then compared to the AI and what was getting out of control, that was scarier to me. The fact that there's this force that no one could predict what's going to happen because it builds on itself. So I think that's kind of all I'll say for now. Again, the suspense and the tension in the whole book, just I read it in maybe 2 days, maybe 4 sittings, because I just kept on wanting to read more. So over to the next person.
Which is Katie.
Which is me. So, yeah, I agree. I'm just going to start off by saying I think we should call the nanobots, we should refer to them as ash holes now since they turned to ash. But that, again, is a spoiler. But no, I agree with so much that you said, Sarah. And I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable because I do try to be a really great ally. But I honestly didn't realize that the title of this book referred to a real life trope in media where burying your gays was a thing. Now, I knew that erasure of LGBTQ plus was a thing, but I was very surprised that I'd never heard that term. And then I just got over it and moved on. That's just something I wanted to say because I think books like this are great at opening people's eyes to those kind of things that happen in society every day. I think the thing that I do I do not read a lot of horror, so I also was enraptured by this book. I thought that I think, Mike, I told you once that I'd rather read my horror versus watch it because I can't stand watching scary movies.
Yep.
But then after I read this book, I said, well, if that's going to be the case, I need to read more horror so I can actually stand by that. I think the concept that was the scariest to me, apart from the AI, which is always scary, but the concept that Hollywood would do anything, do whatever it takes to maximize profits, I think that's a very common theme we hear. And this book, like, took it to that next level. It was just a really great concept, and I will have to give all the credit to Chuck Tingle on that. But a couple of other things, like, so the creatures that he described, I thought the description of them is one of the scariest parts of the books. The way he described not only, well, hell, the guy with no eyes,
A smoker.
the, the smoker. I don't know why I forgot that. I mean, that was terrifying. I said I should try to like paint this and recreate it, but then of course I ran out of time. But I think the lamb was just as
The
terrifying,
lamb is the
especially like,
scariest.
oh,
I don't know. Mrs. Y was pretty creepy.
Oh, they all were.
I agree with you, Mike, but I couldn't get over how clever it was that her name was Mrs. Y, but it was WHY. I don't know if that was just because I read the audiobook and then I immediately had to Google, is it the letter Y or the word Y? Oh, that was probably just a me thing. But another thing I thought of, and Sarah, I think you were on this podcast. I thought it was very reminiscent of Don't Let the Forest In, where his like ideas came to life or his past like horrors came to life just a little bit, not a lot, but
It's actually funny because I did think of that, and his producer guy, Jack, whatever he was, actually said, like, you can't just write a solution to this, like, which is what we wanted them
yeah,
to do and Don't Let the Forest In.
yeah, no, totally. But I did also get a lot out of his flashbacks. I think it told a lot about who he was today and why he was only LA out. But it also came with some rage, like Richie and Richie's brother, they just seem like typical assholes. And I know that his hometown was Montana. I feel like that is very reminiscent of the hometown that I grew up in and now live in. It is not very far fetched that was the case. Like when he said, "Are you gay for him or is he making you do gay shit?" I was like, ugh, it's a fucking shame that I have actually heard these words before in my bringing. So it was super relevant, which I also like. A couple of other things that I really loved about the book was how he described like how horror and the underlying metaphors that come out in media, like horror is not just about blood and guts or gruesome thoughts or death or whatever. I think he was at the reunion when he said this, and he talked about how it's all metaphors. And I thought that was kind of obvious, but I guess not for everybody. And I say that because I recently saw a TikTok where a guy was blasted for saying that Dungeon Crawler Carl isn't political in the literal sense of left and right. And I was like, wow, some people really do not understand that most media has underlying tones and underlying metaphors and themes. And it's more than just what you see on the surface level. And I thought that this book did a great job of that. I will say I ran the gambit on who was fucking with him though. Like I was so thankful it wasn't Tara or Zeke because I agreed Zeke just seemed too perfect. But also I was really glad that he had a perfect boyfriend when it all came down to it because I was like, you don't often get that. Sometimes, the significant other is the worst.
That's what I think I
But
liked about this book too a lot, is that
yeah,
he had a lot of people that just sucked, but then he had Tara and Zeke who were genuinely good, but you did mistrust them here and there. You're like, wait a second, could it be them?
Well, especially as like Tara
yeah,
had like all the ins with the network, like the system network. It
yeah.
was like she could easily have been a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I did love that. I think we're taught to be a little distrustful, the closest people to them, once you read 100 or 1,000 books. So another thing that I super loved is when Misha searched out Lucy. Lucy was the Uber, I guess, that took him to the award show.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid that Lucy was going to be an asshole, but she
Yeah,
ended up just being a true fan. And then he searched her out and, about her Die Hard on a Gay Cruise script.
Yeah.
And I'll say that to lead into some of my favorite quotes because that was one of them. He was like, "Listen, I love the movie business and I also hate it. Let's just say we have a rocky relationship, but I think part of that is my fault, the part where I don't pull others up the ladder behind me," which I thought was great because I think after everything he had been through, all that he had learned, his awesome Oscar speech and everything, I think he just went back to like what am I really about and how am I going to live up to that Oscar speech? So I just love that quote. I also loved, and spoiler, I love that revealing his authentic self was the solution to the problem. I mean, what a great message that we all need to be our authentic self. The world benefits from it, and nobody benefits from you pretending you're someone you're not. And that was the solution to this whole problem if you really dumb it down. And I thought that was great. Another quote, this one's just kind of funny because they point out all the stereotypicalness of people trying to bury their gays, if you will. It was when Misha was at the studio after all the stuff went down where the nanobots were destroyed. I guess when it had its gay makeover, he said, "When my gaze finally arrives at the couch, I gasp aloud. Jack's boring beige two-seater had been replaced by a hell of a statement piece, a long daybed colored by the stark bars of a rainbow flag. The word pride is written across it in giant white sequins. No adult gay man in their right mind would own that fucking couch." And I was like, well, that's good. I mean, that was just funny.
Like, the swing to the way queer side of things was just like he wrote it so well.
Yeah, he really did.
exactly
And
how
I
AI would
think
have went with it.
Yeah, exactly.
yes, exactly. I think it was a very true
Katie,
depiction of AI,
I think you have a question to ask Claude about the couch.
right? I will on Monday. No, Tuesday, because we both agreed that it was Monday already. I think that's probably all I'm gonna say. I guess another thing, like I really thought it was cool how Chuck Tingle. I felt Tara's entire demeanor was just written perfectly, like in the sense that at the end of the book she was the same as she was in the beginning. So I felt like it was really written from her voice. I will say, in all honesty, at the very beginning, I was a little annoyed by her, but when I realized that was her authentic self, I said I really liked that about the writing. And then I'll save the rest because I think it will come into play when you ask us if we like the ending.
All right. So I guess that leaves me. I do love horror books and horror movies. As Sarah knows, I always try to make her watch things, and then she, some reason, agrees to do it, and then I get in trouble because she can't sleep.
It's my husband that you get in trouble from, not me
Yes.
necessarily.
Yeah, there were some movies in college, and he was just like, no more. But I do feel like with horror books, like you get let down a lot because usually like the story kind of falls apart pretty easily or is just not scary. And I think this book, Chuck did a great job with this book. I think all the characters that came to life from his creations were all fucking creepy as hell. The description of the smoker was terrifying. The Mrs. Y was just like that's a nightmare. Like on the airplane, like that's awful.
Mhm.
And then the lamb.
The lamb.
Yeah. Like at first, like I was like, oh, it's cute. And it's like, nope, it is not cute.
And when it killed the security guy.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
shame on him for not paying attention. Like he was holding it.
Mhm.
He had the opportunity to get rid of it.
Mike, if you saw a helpless lamb, would you not want to protect it? It was kind of like real life.
Yeah, I guess. But I might have an eye on it just because they're telling me there's something wrong with it. Well, he did say it had rabies. I don't know if I would pick it up if someone said it had rabies.
Oh, that's very true. I would run
Yeah.
if they said rabies. Go ahead.
But I think this book did a great job. It was just creepy enough, and I like when a scary book or movie can be kind of explainable. So like in the end, we find out it's AI. The one thing I did have problem with is they weren't super clear. Like I think like we all like understood that because like he had his speech at the Oscars, that's why the smoker didn't kill him. But it wasn't made very clear in the book. Like why the AI let him live that one moment.
It's because then the algorithms were leaning towards
Oh.
gay happiness, and the fact that he basically flipped the switch. Flipped the script? That's the saying. He flipped the script
Oh, yeah.
where instead of him being killed and the gays being killed, now all of a sudden it was yay gays.
And listen, if there's anything unrealistic about this book, the most unrealistic, it's not the creatures, it's that happening.
Yeah, right? But if the profit, I mean, they were talking at one point, they said the difference in the percent swing was like 0.00125, so it just swung a little bit the way of, that happening.
Which is such a corporation thing to say, so it makes it a little more believable.
I also feel like the one loophole I can think of was the random person who stole the matchbooks. Like they never really circled back on that.
Yeah.
So like when he didn't have the matchbook to give the smoker his light,
Right.
like I
Yeah,
thought that,
I just assumed it was part of the AI, like, dust. They
yeah.
just had someone kind of do it.
Oh, and I guess remember like when the smoker was in the diner and there was some of the powder dust was in his phone, like could
Yeah,
that have been from the matchbooks in his pocket with the phone?
right, exactly. Like, I think that the AI was just out of control enough that it could kind of do whatever.
He never explained like why it was in his phone, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, if it was in the same pocket as the matchbooks, then that could have explained.
Yep.
I will say like after reading this and like I guess I love horror books. It made me want to write a horror book. Like I as someone who loves like scary shit so much, like I'm surprised I haven't tried to do that yet.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I'll still proofread it and love it. But just remember, like, this is the amount of scary you want to do.
Yeah, you don't want to go any more in this.
No.
But I think like I needed a couple like good horror books recently to like put me in that mood, even though it probably won't be anywhere on the docket coming soon because I have other things I need to get done.
Right.
But I do have a couple of quotes. Some of them are just kind of like descriptors that I found funny or funny sayings. It was all of his one-liners, like "Oh for fuck's cock,"
Yeah.
and then "Oh my fuck." I loved all the different variations he would use of like those type of exclamations.
Yeah.
The descriptor of when the piano falls on Ray is Ray has popped like a water balloon. I think that's so gross.
It's so gross, but you laughed at the horror of it. Like, it was just so surreal.
Also, like in the diner, they're talking. The woman suddenly screams, "What in the actual fuck is that?" And it's the smoker. And the descriptor of the smoker, the pale man allowing a creeping grin to slither its way across his face. He parts his lips ever so slightly, revealing a set of filthy tar-stained teeth.
Ugh.
It was a really good description though. Like
Yeah.
it really set the tone.
And it's like the word slither, like to think to use that word.
Yeah. And like as someone like Sarah doesn't like horror, and I think this may have been at the reunion. Like they're talking about the concept of like why people watch scary movies, and it says the same goes for fear though. You don't want to feel that way all the time, but it's a muscle that needs to be exercised. There are scary things in the world, that's just a fact, and if you pretend they're not all around us, then you're in for a rude awakening. Horror offers a chance to recognize this truth, to explore dark places in a safe way.
Yeah, I liked that whole
Yes.
concept. And like that's kind of how I feel about horror. I couldn't watch horror all the time, but every once in a while, and you know, not the Saw series, but like this
Oh,
type of horror.
if you need a good recommendation for one that's not scary, but kind of like this, like in a silly, scary way, Send Help was good with Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
It just came on Hulu or HBO Max the other day. And then one last quote. So this is from like the overcompensating swing to everything being super gay. When he goes into the office before the couch incident, he's with the secretary, and the secretary says, "Hey, girl." The secretary calls out with a distinctively sing-song cadence. I stopped in my tracks, unable to process. The two of us just stare at each other for a long time, caught in this moment like someone pressed pause on Universe's VCR. Hi. Because that's exactly how I would have responded in that situation.
I'm surprised you didn't have in your quotes when they were talking about doing a movie about an earthquake and how they would make it gay, and it was Girthquake.
I forgot about that.
I wrote that one down and I was leaving it for you because I assumed you would have Girthquake.
I did not have Girthquake.
If I can just chime in about that quote. So Wade, because I rewatched Heated Rivalry. I've been taken to calling Marshall girl. I'll be like, girl, calm down, or come on, girl. And he was like, you're calling me girl. And I'm like, it's just a phrase now. It's just a phrase. It doesn't mean anything. So I've got to reel that back, apparently. It doesn't, it doesn't equate to every situation.
Okay, Katie. I called Craig pretty the other day because of Heated Rivalry, and he goes, "Did you just call me pretty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, your shirt colors. You just look very pretty." He goes, "Okay."
Oh, yes, Katie. So by now, Sarah has now read and watched
We,
all.
we are going to discuss this in the recently read
Oh,
section.
okay, good. We will save
Okay, we'll pause and wait for them.
that. Any other quotes you guys want to share?
No, well, I have one that I was going to talk about at the ending.
Okay, so let's talk about the ending. Were you satisfied with how the book ended? And we'll go with Sarah since she's holding a quote.
I was very happy with how it ended because it ended. I do like when things end happy, but it still made you rethink a lot of things. And it wasn't quite happy because basically Misha's life is sorted out. But then because of the swing to everything's happy and gay, now his friend who is writing the documentary about gay suicide, she's being terrorized and canceled. So it's the whole fact that the board and all that, it's either black and white. There's no in between, which isn't the way the world should be. So, but I did like that it made you rethink it all. I was happy that AI got basically fucked up and that Tara was a badass. And the quote I have is that he wrote kind of toward the end of it. On a long enough timeline, endings are inevitable. Tragedy is inevitable. Fortunately, so is joy. And so, I don't know. I like where, like, yes, our world might be a little fucked up right now, but there's always the possibility of hope. So, I liked it.
Katie?
Mine is probably going to be a little more lengthy because I did like the ending. I thought it came to a really great ending. But then when I actually thought about it, I had a lot of questions. So it's not necessarily about the ending. And it's very possible because this happens when you listen to audiobooks. Sometimes you can just miss little bits and pieces that make all the difference. So I thought this would be a great time to ask y'all.
Sure.
There, I have a list of things I was confused about. So the random cuts to scenes when Misha exists, and in my interpretation, I thought as a nanobot, and he doesn't remember them. So like they cut to that scene where he wakes up in a field and he has no idea how he got there. Yet he looks clean. There's that scene where he bought all that food at the convenience store and he tries to use a credit card and it was expired 9 years ago, but he thinks that it's got plenty of time left. Like, were those flashbacks to like nanobot existence or did I completely miss something?
No. So it was. So you remember when he gets to the house and Mrs. Y is there and gets him at the door? Like that was the nanobot version of him because he turns to ash on the doorstep. But that's how she got into the house to get to Zeke and Tara. And remember how like he gets to the house after and they're already like brain dead?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So those were all just
Those were the
really
nanobots'
strong.
memories, essentially.
So, and the way they
Okay.
created it in the book is it looks like a scene, like it looks like a writer's script. So
Yes.
they're kind of like, it's either the nanobots or that it's scripted somehow, and it's like I kind of saw it as like an alternate universe or a dream or the nanobots, it just wasn't real almost, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. They kind of did that with the audio, but I guess I just didn't grasp it. It kind of cut to like a staticky like existence or whatever. And maybe it just would have translated. I mean, at least that's what I thought it was happening, but I felt like they never really said anything else about it. But that's fine. It didn't really deter from my enjoyance of the book. Enjoyance. I don't think that's a word.
It can be now.
Well,
Change
yes,
approved.
of course, it can be now. So those were the only things that were confused. Oh wait, no, I had one more. I'm sorry. And they explain really well where the smoker came from, his shit uncle, and the even Mrs. Y, I think, was play on a character from an old show that he watched when he was 9, and he thought that show was gonna have gay representation, and it didn't. But I didn't really get where any of the other characters were from, unless I missed it. Like, was the lamb or the bride part of his previous, like his childhood?
I feel like the lamb could just be the whole worry of being yourself and that you might corrupt other things.
Well,
I don't know.
well, also, wasn't there a lamb in the barn when he had to sleep in there?
Oh,
When
right. Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, I figured I missed something.
Yeah, when he got kicked out of Richie's house, he slept and the lamb was there. And so that's why I kind of felt like it was a little bit of like his shame of being gay, like
Oh, yeah, I
there's
knew I had probably just missed something.
but yeah,
Okay, well,
the bride just seemed like a crazy bitch.
yeah, she did, and it's funny because I think we're going to talk about technology later. So I like went to Chat GPT and I said, I just read this book, and there's this character, the bride, and I have no idea where she came from, and of course it couldn't answer it because, but if that was the case, that would be awful for authors if ChatGPT could explain it. But yes, I love the ending. I thought it was good. Long story short.
What about you, Mike?
I thought the ending was great. The thing I think I liked about it the most. So in typical like good horror movies or stories, there's always like the everything is great, but then there's like the second realization that things are not right. So
Yep.
like when you realize like the AI was still alive, but just like tweaked itself, and like when they're talking about the friend who was trying to create that script, whereas the gay tragedy, and they're like, yeah, that can't happen. It was like he's like, things are still not okay.
Which
So
again, like brought me back to, I mean, I don't watch Black Mirror because again, they sometimes go too scary for me. But it made me feel like that concept of, you know, just things are just not quite right.
yeah, and I was happy that it did that, but then also still resolved it past that. Because I think like with a book like this, I think an open ending would have been too much. Like you needed some sort of resolution.
Yep.
Agreed.
Everyone's favorite question: did you cast anyone to play any of the characters? Sarah.
I did not. However, Zeke kept on reminding me of a friend from high school. So I had him in my mind, but that's not a real person. I mean, he's a real person, but he's not an actor. So yeah, no, I did not cast anyone because they were all there. Sometimes when people are so unique, I just can't cast them.
True, I can see that. Katie.
I'm going to go with Sarah's answer. Although the real answer is, holy shit, I forgot about that question and didn't even think about it until this moment.
I think I've been getting worse as this show's been going on with doing the casting because I also didn't come up with anyone.
I mean, you can't cast one of the Fanning sisters in this.
Because
I
Tara
mean,
would not
wait.
be a Fanning sister.
No.
I mean, Tara could be Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, I guess I could say that. I feel like Jennifer Lawrence could play any character
Right.
because that's probably my girl crush.
Did you cast anyone, Mike?
I did not.
Oh, see, I think this one was such a unique one. It was really hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think too.
But I would like to see this turned into a movie or like a limited series.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, Mike, because you seem to be the expert on horror, do you think that horror movies are a good place to launch like acting careers? I know in past podcasts, when I have Googled people that would fit a certain narrative, a lot of them got their start in horror movies and then went on to do other things. And I just wondered, what do you think about that? Do you think horror movies is a great way to launch your acting career?
I think it is just because I think a lot of times, especially like the older scary movies had such low budgets. It was just a way to get your foot in the door. Like Jennifer Aniston's like first big role was in Leprechaun, which was like a very low budget scary movie from late 80s, early 90s. But look at where I got her.
Yep.
So it can work. And if I remember correctly, I think in Halloween H2O, Busta Rhymes was in it.
Oh, best.
I wouldn't say he has a very prolific acting career.
Definitely prolific. And final question, would you read more from Mr. Tingle? That sounds awful saying Mr. Tingle.
Yeah, no,
Sarah?
So I haven't read anything before, and I would read some of his mainstream novels. I've added Camp Damascus to my list, and he also has another one called Lucky Day that both it's one of those I added them, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should let Mike read them first just in case, because they seem a little scarier. But I really, again, I liked his writing style a lot. It was quirky and fun and different.
Katie?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after you described all the different like genres he's written in, or maybe not genres, but what was that word you said about some of his erotic?
So he like technically is an anonymous author. Like no one knows who. Like I compared him to Sia, like where you don't quite know who he is. And I guess in some way, like so he's done a lot of like erotic and like sex with dinosaurs and different random types of books. And it's very supposedly like it's serious but silly kind of stuff, and he has a crazy following, I guess. So
Yeah, exactly. Based on that, I think I'll probably find something from his old and new or
She wants a dinosaur
whatever.
sex
And
book.
I was gonna
exactly.
say, I mean, when I went down like a Reddit rabbit hole about him because I was like, I really want to know who he is, and so many people were talking about how arguing about if he's a legit person, like a legit author or not, and like people kept on citing his mainstream versus not mainstream, but they seem to both have their merits. Something for everyone.
Oh man, does anyone else get the feeling that this person could be someone we know and work with every day, just on the possibility?
It is not me.
I'm going to pretend to think that this is a true statement, and I will continue to search. I'm going to ask everybody I know, are you Chuck Tingle from now on?
I also feel like it could be like some like crazy celebrity that like they don't want, like they want their books to shine on their own and not have any celebrity status on it. I don't know. I feel like there's a
Like,
lot of history.
like Jennifer Aniston, she was so moved by Leprechaun that she wanted to write Weird Shit. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll wait and see.
So you're saying that Jennifer Aniston is Chuck Tingle?
Exactly.
That's a stretch. What about you, Mike?
I definitely think I'd read his other horror books, maybe not so much the dinosaur sex book. But yeah, I think there was a preview at the end of this one. I didn't start reading it yet, but I think it was the Lucky Day. Was that what it was
Lucky
called?
Day.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah, so I might check that one out.
Cool.
Anything else on Bury Your Gaze?
I think that's it.
This was a fun one.
Yeah.
It pushed me out of my comfort zone, so I loved it, and it was great. And this was great conversation.
Yeah. It was very unexpected and a delight.
And this episode will air in June, so this is our first Pride read for the podcast. So
Oh, nice.
I'm glad it was a good one. All right, so moving on to, before we go to our bullshit section, we like to talk about what we're reading currently. If we have any recommendations for our listeners. Sarah, I know you're chomping at the bit, so
I
what are
literally was just smiling to myself. So I will admit to the listeners, Mike and Katie already know this, but I was late to the game with the Game Changers series. And I am absolutely obsessed. And I think I'm where people were in December and January of this past year. So I read I read the books that you needed to read to watch Heated Rivalry. And then I finished reading the rest of the series. And then I rewatched Heated Rivalry.
Oh, you reheated already?
Oh, yeah, within like a day. Oh, yeah. I'm already 2 times through and I'm wanting to watch more. But I'm not big on buying books and keeping books. I tend to read the books and pass them along. I'm not a big rereader just because I always feel like there's too many books in the world. But I'm already picking out what version of the series I'm going to buy because I already feel like I need to reread it again. And I definitely need to reread it before the next book comes out or before the next season comes out. It's just, I don't know, there's something just really magical about it. And it's not just the sex and the romance and the heat, it's the love story and the characters
And the rivalry.
and the rivalry. And, it's funny because I've liked characters in books before, but there's something that, Rachel Reed just did an amazing job with this whole series. So I'm on the bandwagon hardcore. My Instagram, that's basically all that pops up at this point. So those are,
Welcome to the club.
I'm glad to finally be in it. And I know I'm not saying anything new that anyone doesn't already know, but it's quite good. And so so basically I finished that, and that's why I was worried picking up any other books. I'm like, is it going to be anything that I want to read? Because all I want to read right now is book 1 of Game Changers. And so I was so I was like 10 pages into this book and I was just like, I don't know, and then page 11 I'm like, oh, I'm in it. So that's kind of my recent reads. And I just started reading or listening to Theo the Golden on audiobook, which a lot of people have recommended to me. And I think it has like a 4.7-star review on Goodreads, which seems crazy. And so I'm excited for that one because I've heard it's just a very nice, wonderful book. So
Just so you know, Rachel Reed does have 2 standalone hockey romances that are connected.
So I was like, do I not read anything else? And do I just keep on reading her books? But then I decided I should pace them out a little bit. And then I decided, yeah. So I'll read those eventually soon, probably.
They're both on Hoopla, so they're easy to get.
Good.
I still have one left. I haven't read one of them. Katie, what are you reading?
Well, before I say that, Sarah, as you were describing your little smile on your face, wanting to talk about it, I had the cheesiest grin on my face. I couldn't wait for you to talk about it. So I just wanted to say that I was so happy and excited. That's just great.
I love that it's a cult that we all are so happy people come into. It was funny. I saw a meme just today that was this girl holding up the book series and she goes, I never thought it would be this easy to fall into a cult, and never in my life did I think it was going to be about gay hockey.
Exactly. It's like I can bridge any gap. If you want to be my friend and you've read or watched Heated Rivalry, I think we can make it work. It's just, it is. It's that cheesy and it's that grin inspiring. I just love it. So, yay, welcome. And I understand why you took so long. It's fine. You had your things like homework from Mike that you had to prioritize.
Right. And and it actually worked out perfectly. And Mike knows this, but my husband went away for a week and a half or a week on a trip. And so I was able to fully just be in it and watch the series twice in a week and a half or in a week. So
that's so awesome. That's the perfect way to do it. Read it, watch it again. I think that's what I did too. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And
then no matter how many times you watch it, the end of episode 5 will always get you.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Season 2 is going to be rough. Sorry. After reading Long Game, but so that's I finished Long Game and then rewatched it. And like watching episode 5 and 6 after reading Long Game was like, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I just realized that book 6 was not in the season and got that exact same feeling that you just described. But I think the question was, what am I reading? I'm reading. I apologize. So I want y'all to know that everything I've read since the last time I was on this podcast or am reading all came from Rex from y'all. So y'all are good recommendators, if you will. So since the last podcast, I did read all three of the They Both Die in the End series.
Oh,
Oh, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but there will be tears.
Ugh. Well, I mean, I've only read the first one and there was a lot of tears. That might be one of the next things I read, I decided, because I want a good cry.
But I think other than like the sad girl era, which I think everybody agrees that I love that, it was such a fascinating concept. Since you've read the first book, you know it's not a spoiler. I would definitely recommend it. I literally was like, should I read them all? Should I read them in order? It was really weird how my Audible put it. It put like the second book as a prequel, but I guess it really was, but I don't know. Anyway, read them all. It's good. And I'm currently halfway through The Correspondent, which was also a recommendation from the last
that's right. For me.
podcast. I'm halfway through. I don't know. I get such a kick out of that old lady speak, which reminds me of all the old people in my life. That's like, could you imagine? Or the audacity. I just think I'm listening clearly, and it's the narrators do a great job. And I'm like, oh, these old people, they're just hysterical. But so far, I love it. It's great. Recommend.
So for They Both Die in the End, it's been in limbo, but there's supposed to be a TV show.
Ooh, nice.
I think HBO had picked it up.
Mike, did you read
Nice.
the third one in that?
What?
Did you read the last one in that series yet?
I did. The one's considered number 0 in the series.
I don't know, the big one.
Yeah, so like I don't know if you like want to read it or not. I mean, it could end up in your house sometime in December. Who knows?
Gotcha. So maybe I should wait to read it until.
Yeah, it might make its way to your house and wrapped underneath a tree or something.
Yeah, we're not
I have no idea what y'all are talking
Oh,
about.
so every year, Sarah and I give each other a book advent calendar.
I was being facetious.
Oh,
You're being silly. But now the listeners know.
Yes, exactly. It was for the listeners.
for the listeners.
So what are you reading, Mike?
So Katie had mentioned a book in our discussion about the podcast. It was Wish You Were Here, or it was a scary book you were talking about.
We used to live here?
Yeah, We Used to Live Here. So I read his newest book, The Caretaker, which was pretty creepy and highly recommend.
To all of us? Just the title of that makes me not want to read it.
It could be on the fringe for you,
Okay.
but definitely a Katie recommendation.
Yeah, I'm going to read it since I didn't know I liked horror.
Yeah. And then today I listened to The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna.
We listened to all of it?
Yep.
Holy moly.
And it was good. It wasn't my favorite of Kristen Hanna's, but it was still really good. I think it's a 4-star.
Okay.
But also narrated by Julia Whalen. She's my favorite, so.
Absolutely.
All right, so I think that brings us to our bullshit topic of the week, which is technology, which kind of links into this book very well. And thanks to Sarah for coming up with this week's topic, because, sometimes I need some help.
I wrote it in my 16 pages of notes.
as like
recommend technology to you.
And so our first question in the technology space is, what was your first phone and phone provider, Sarah?
I'm not positive that it was my first, but I think it was close to it, but it was a Nokia, and I had a blue and silver star phone case, and we always had Verizon growing up because it was the family plan.
Katie?
Yeah, I think y'all are probably younger than me. I wish Brennan was on this call because he might remember. So, my first phone, 1999, when I got my driver's license, was a brand called NEC. I actually couldn't find what that stood for, to be honest. It looked kind of like a skinny brick, maybe like a small block of cheddar cheese, and it just stayed in my phone or in my car all the time. And my provider was US Cellular, which was a local or regional provider. And you didn't ask for this, but I'm going to tell you. So, like when I was like 16, we had US Cellular. Then I went to school in Chattanooga, which is only 90 miles down the road. My US Cellular service didn't work. So that's when my family switched to Verizon. When I unfortunately got married, we later switched to US Cellular again. And then I moved to Texas in 2015 and US Cellular didn't work then. So then I had to transition back to Verizon. So just to say that regional shit just like never got global.
Yeah, so I don't know if I've ever heard of that, of your local. I don't know what my first phone was. I'm guessing it was a Nokia of some sort, but I can tell you that my provider was Singular Wireless.
Oh, wait a second. I might have been singular.
Ooh.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
And the reason I think mine was because in the strip mall where the grocery store I worked at, there was a Singular Wireless store.
Hmm. Now I'm confused.
Back in the days of free calls after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you got to look it up and see if that actually was the case for you.
I
If you
know.
were
I'll check
singular.
that. I also just wanted to give a shout out. I loved the phone that like it slid up and you could horizontally type on it. I think that was like one of my second phones.
Oh, that was, yeah, my second phone, I think, as well.
I like that.
Oh man,
I like
that's
that.
hilarious.
What three apps are the most used in your phone, Katie?
So I would have to say that Audible slash Everend, which is the two audiobook apps, is probably number one. And then Facebook, showing my age, is probably number two. And then I play this really stupid like mash game when my ADHD is like really off the charts, but it helps me stem. I would have to say that's number three.
What's the name of the game?
Match Masters,
Nice.
unsponsored.
I know Brendan's always looking for a new game, so when he listens to this episode, he'll pick that one up. Unless he's already playing it. Sarah, top three?
I had a clarifying question. Like the messages app is it?
No. Like an actual app.
Okay. So Instagram, definitely. I have a sorry, I don't even know how to explain this. There's a thing called the Finch app, and you get a bird called a burb that you take care of. It's basically a self-help Tamagotchi, and it's lovely, and everyone should go get themselves a burb. They're the cutest things, and they're just nice. So Finch, and then either my gym app or Facebook, which again, gym app really doesn't really count because it just I'm on it a lot to sign up for things. So I guess Facebook to again show my age.
Yeah, I mean, I was unsure if I should include Apple Music in this or not because I think it's just the music app in your
Oh,
phone.
that's
So,
true. Spotify is on all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
so
Forgot.
I'll say TikTok, Apple Music, and Instagram. And if it wasn't Apple Music, then it'd be Facebook.
Yep.
So clearly, I spend all my time on social media on my phone.
Yep.
Are you an Apple or an Android user, and do you judge the others? Katie.
So I'm an Android user. I have a Google Pixel that I love. It is my most favorite companion. Only because it knows me so well and I don't ever have to do anything. It's like, I'm Google, I got you. I have all of your data stored. But I don't judge because I'm in the minority, I think. But I do rub it in my friends' faces who are constantly needing to delete stuff to find storage. Like, I don't know if that's a real thing with Apple or my friends just don't have the right shit. or
It
whatever
used
Apple
it used to be a
provides.
thing, but now the phones are like have more storage. But for a while, like 4 or 5 years ago, I constantly was deleting stuff. But
And you can pay
Well, I don't
99
know.
cents a month to get cloud storage.
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense because the friends of mine that continually tell me they have no storage, they also return things to the Dollar Tree. So that's a story for a different day. So they probably are unwilling to pay the 99 cents. But I haven't deleted a text message in at least a decade, and I always have plenty of storage. So that last thing might not be relevant. It just might be specific to two people.
Sarah?
I'm Apple through and through. My first computer when I was 6 was an Apple II computer, and I fell in love right then and there. So yeah, I mean, I work all day on Apple products, and so I'm an Apple person. I would like to say I don't judge, and I don't think I judge because everyone that I know that has an Android likes their Android, and it's good for them. And so I'm happy for them. I just wouldn't want to have to have a non-Apple product.
I am also an Apple product through and through. Phone, iPad, MacBook. I'm not going to say I judge people who aren't Apple, but when the green text bubble pops up in a chat, I'm like, who's the green bubble? And in this one, it's Katie.
I
That's
will admit,
hilarious.
and I don't think it's an Apple versus Android thing. I just wish they would play a little better together. Like, so we have very close friends that are Android users, and me, my husband, and the two of them, we can't be on a group chat and have us all get the text messages properly. So we end up just doing one-on-one texting a lot because it never works. And often we're talking about plans or babysitting or picking up their kids or, important stuff. So it's not good when it doesn't go through.
Oh,
That part
that's
is funny.
that's really strange because my like core group of girlfriends in my area that I would say it's about 50-50. It's the only group chat I'm involved in where it's like 50-50 Android versus Apple. And we don't ever have that problem,
That's
which,
interesting.
yeah, I know. That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, no, and it's weird. 'Cause sometimes it'll be good for like a year. And then all of a sudden, one day, like Craig will be like, "Oh, did you see Catherine's text message?" And I'll be like, "What are you talking about? I didn't get any text message." He's like, "Oh, yeah, she texted this morning." And I'm like, "Nope." So it's just weird.
We will start with
I
Katie.
was,
Oh, go ahead, Katie.
oh, I was about to say, I will say when I was in college, when I thought I was going to be a journalism major, everything was Apple. I mean, that was still when I was carrying a flip phone because I'm so old. And I think if I had pursued that career, I would probably be an Apple person, much like you, Sarah, and you, Mike, with where your careers have taken you. I think Apple is much better for that. I'll just be honest. I haven't
Insurance.
looked into anything. No, Mike, you know. But yes, exactly. When I abandoned the journalism path for the calling of insurance. No, I just think with some of the things that y'all do, maybe not as your primary occupation, Mike, but writing and graphic design, journalism, anything on that realm, I think I would have probably ended up an Apple gal. That was unnecessary context, but okay. What was your question, Mike?
How long do you think you could last without the internet?
Me first?
Yeah,
I said 8 hours.
eight
As long as I
hours.
was as long as I was asleep during those 8 hours.
Wow. So you wouldn't last a second, is what you're saying.
Basically.
What about you, Sarah?
So I wrote, it depends on the situation. I love going on vacations where like I have to completely disconnect, and I love getting out of service and not having to have to look. And but I could only do that while traveling, while being in the woods or wherever. Normal day to day, like I couldn't do my job without the internet. And then even like being at home on the weekends, you want to be opening those apps you want to open. And so at home, I feel like I would get squirrely after like 24 hours.
Maybe I'm unrealistic with what I wrote. I said a few weeks as long as I had physical media to entertain me.
But like you couldn't listen to any music, any TV.
Well, you have CDs in your house still, don't you?
A couple, I have my cassettes.
But do you have anything that will play those CDs?
I have a PlayStation 5, so yes.
Oh, okay. Fancy pants.
And I think it depends the time of year. I guess part of it too is that for me, like when I read the question, like the stress of not being able to work would stress me out. Like I would have to go to another location to do work.
But what if like everyone else couldn't access the internet as well?
Oh, like so if no one had, then that's let's go.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I mean, I would be fine just reading as long as I had my physical copies of Heated Rivalry right
I was
now.
gonna say, but you wouldn't be able to watch Heated Rivalry.
No, but that's okay. As long as I had the books, like I'm slightly still, I like the books more. Minus the fact that,
Sure.
those actors are just lovely.
Absolutely.
What piece or pieces of technology did you dig your heels in on, but ultimately gave into? Katie.
So ironically texting because I'm old school and like our phones didn't have texting to begin with. And I was like, just pick up the phone and call me.
Ugh.
And I'll be honest, that quickly became just text. God, what are you doing? But I would say I dug my heels in for a while because I just wasn't as quick to pick it up. The other thing is actually iPods and MP3 players because I loved a burn CD. I had a label maker that you could make your own label, and the amount of burn CDs that had pictures of Russell Crowe via 2000 or Gladiator era on my CDs. I mean, y'all understand, I'm sure.
Oh,
Russell Crowe
definitely.
was hot.
But now not so much.
No, no.
Yeah, no, 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 not so much.
All right, burn CDs. I used to make Sarah some burn CDs back in the day.
Yep,
We used to write like all the song
I still
titles on
have
the
them.
top. You see, you still have them?
I do. Yeah, I have a CD case in my closet that like has burned CDs from you, the ones I made like for girlfriends and like our different friends. And then Mike Cameron, my sister's best friend Mike, used to make us a Mike's Christmas mix every year. So I have all of his.
Nice.
Yep.
So, Sarah, what is your piece or pieces of technology you dug your heels in on, but ultimately had to cave into?
So this one is dedicated to Brendan and kind of, I guess, my husband, but my Kindle.
What about me?
Fine, and dedicated to you as well. But Brendan helped me pick out my Kindle. So for years, like I want to say close to 10 years, maybe 5 years, my husband used to threaten to buy me a Kindle for my birthday or Christmas because he knew how against I was an e-reader. And then I slowly came around to it. And I still don't read my Kindle at home all that much. But for traveling, vacations, being on the beach, I really do love my Kindle. And it is still on airplane mode from February.
Mine's currently on airplane mode as well.
Well, but you're going on vacation.
Yeah. And I don't want my library loans to expire.
Exactly.
For me, I said two. I said initially the iPhone when it first came out, I was like, who needs this? Like I think I had my slidey phone that Sarah talked about with the
We love it.
texting. But Brendan made sure I switched to iPhone at one point, and that's where I've lived ever since. But a more recent one is Apple Pay. Like I never used Apple Pay, and now I use it all the time.
It's funny that you bring this up because you know me. Like, I just got Venmo. Like, so all that type of technology, I'll never probably get Apple Pay. That seems like so much work for nothing.
Well, it was so funny. So when Jeremy and Betsy and I were running this weekend, Jeremy went to Heirloom Market to get food before we were done running. And so Betsy and I walk over, we're like, oh no, neither of us has our card. And Jeremy had already ordered. We're like, did you not order for us? And then I was like, oh wait, we have Apple Pay. And so like we're able to actually pay for ourselves after realizing
That
that.
would be smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess there's probably a lot more technology that I am digging my heels on, but I just don't know it. Such as Venmo.
I would like to dig my heels in on Microsoft Teams personally.
Oh, that's the worst. Whenever someone sends me a Teams thing, like it's very rare, and I'm like, why?
What is a piece of technology you despise, Sarah?
I wrote down 2. My first response was Marty from Stop and Shop.
Oh,
I hate that robot so
he
much.
was stalking me the other day. Oh,
Ugh,
right now in their seasonal section, they have a stuffed Marty.
ugh, why?
Exactly.
Um, so Marty, and then I just wrote down printers. Printers in general, they never work. I do actually, I hope mine's not hearing me right now. Mine right now is wonderful, but printers are often the bane of my existence.
Katie?
Um, so I put down smartwatches, but I want to caveat maybe I wouldn't feel this way if jewelry just in general didn't suffocate me. Like I can't stand to wear jewelry. I like even when I was married, I barely ever wore a wedding ring. But still, I'm like, it seems a little overkill if you're doing it for fitness, like get a Fitbit. I don't know. But again, like I said, I am like jewelry makes me like dry heave when I put it on. So that probably has something to do
Yeah.
with it.
I've just started. I have a Garmin watch, so it's just for working out. Like I don't have it do anything smart really other than workout stuff. And so I've been wearing it lately because I've been trying to track my steps. And it's taken everything in me not to take it off like after a workout or a walk, like and to leave it on all day. It just makes me itchy. But I've gotten used to it.
And that makes sense though. Like a smart, like if I could make fun of my friends who are talking to their watch, and I'm like, I watched Get Smart back in the day. That seems like unnecessary. And I probably just aged myself again.
Get Smart's a good show. But yes, we are aging ourselves.
I don't know what you speak of, this get smart thing.
Oh.
For me, this one's not really relevant anymore, but back when I worked at Chili's, Bluetooth like headsets for cell phones. And like I'd
Oh.
walk up to a table and people just be talking on the phone, but like it looks like they're just talking themselves, and then they like shoo me away. And I'd be like, absolutely fucking not. And I don't know if this one it classifies as a piece of technology per se, but Cybertruck.
Oh yeah, that thing's stupid.
Oh my god, I passed 2 Cybertrucks on my way to the liquor store today. It was awful.
I parked next to one the other day and it was terrible. Hated it. What video game systems did you have growing up, Sarah?
We had the original Nintendo, and then when I got a little older, I bought myself Super Nintendo for my room. And on the original Nintendo, of course, like Super Mario was a big hit, but Bubble Bobble was the jam in our household, and it's one of the best games. And then little trivia is that my mom was the first person in our household to beat a video game, and it was Super Mario 2, which to me is the hardest one to beat.
That one is tricky compared to the other two.
And the fact that my mom did it, like, I just loved the fact that my mom was such a Nintendo gamer with us.
Katie?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, Sarah. So my answer is very convoluted. I was like, we had a Nintendo, I know. I think we had a Super Nintendo and maybe a 64, but I don't really know because my brother wasn't super into video games. But I had a Sega. Do you know that? And I played Aladdin all the time. This was also during the time that I typed the Aladdin lyrics over and over again on my typewriter to learn how to type when I was in 3rd grade. So that's all I have. But I played a lot of those basic systems in college, which is my favorite Nintendo gaming system era, if you will.
Agreed. Well, in my house, in my parents' house before I moved out, I had a Nintendo, a Sega Genesis, a PlayStation 2, a Nintendo GameCube, a Sega Dreamcast, and a Game Boy.
Oh, I forgot about our Game Boy.
Wow.
So yeah, you had everything.
Well, I never had a Super
Yeah, I think
Nintendo
I
or a
might have had
Nintendo
it.
64.
I might have had a Game Boy too.
You didn't have a Super Nintendo.
No, we were a Sega Genesis household.
Interesting.
Gotta get
Did
that
you
Mortal Kombat
also
with the blood.
you didn't also only play Aladdin and Sonic?
I definitely played a lot of Sonic. What technology from your childhood would make you seem old to kids today? Sarah.
I just wrote down a stream of things. I wrote down call waiting, dial-up internet, Tamagotchis.
Katie.
I also wrote down a stream of things like printers, reprinting out MapQuest directions, AIM, LimeWire, Napster, but particularly my mom worked for the phone company, so we seem to have all of the most recent technology with when it comes to landline phones. And I actually, when I was a child, had a phone number that rang differently if it was for me. So instead of one long ring, it was like ring ring. And I thought I was like the coolest kid on the planet.
That is really kind of cool.
That is really cool. Wish I had that. I mean, back then. I don't need it now.
Yeah.
Right.
I had just written down dial-up internet and Walkman, and then also the Discman where it said it had skip technology.
Oh man. Yeah, there's numerous. That just reminds me of when you had to plug your tape into your tape deck to get your Walkman to play.
Oh.
Time to be alive.
It was great. It was great. We were innovation at its finest.
All right, and last one. What is something you want technologically invented? Sarah.
Teleportation machine.
Katie.
Well, I said that too, but I also put a couple others down. I said teleportation, and then I said an app that immediately hydrates me, caffeinates me, washes my ass, and gets me ready for the day.
Nice.
I also wrote teleportation. Look at
I was
that.
just
3 for
We're
3.
waiting, technology. We're waiting. Come on.
Yeah. Traveling for vacation is the worst part of it. So if I could just get there in like a couple of seconds,
well,
lovely.
even just like little thing. Like we drove up to Craig's family in Massachusetts and it takes like an hour plus, and you're just like, we can just get there quicker.
That would be nice. Not the
Mhm.
commute to work.
Yeah.
All right. So we're up to our favorite segment, the rapid response segment. I actually prepped it this week, so
Hey.
go me.
Great job.
So this should be rather quick since there's only 2 of you this week. Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah's going first. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Best Gatorade flavor.
Yellow.
Kindle, physical book, or audiobook?
Physical book.
Reese's Pieces or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups?
Peanut butter cups.
It is today's National Reese's Day, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, Betsy.
Steak, chicken, or fish? Steak, chicken, or fish?
Chicken.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Boston or New York City?
Boston.
That's right. Katie,
Mike.
best Gatorade flavor.
Citrus cooler.
Oh, that's the wrong answer. We only identify Gatorades by color.
Oh, light orange.
Kindle, physical, or audiobook?
Audiobook.
Reese's Pieces or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups?
Reese's Pieces.
Steak, chicken, or fish?
Steak.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Boston or New York City?
New York City? I don't know. Y'all, I'm from the South.
Both
Yeah,
are acceptable answers,
yes,
but there's one right answer.
correct.
I love that.
I feel like we're going to get some hate from our listeners
I
based
feel
on that
like,
comment.
Mike, you need to answer all the questions quick.
Okay. Blue, physical, peanut butter cups, steak, Diet Coke, Boston.
Nice.
Coke by default, but Diet Coke's king.
By the way, I had a really hard time with the different types of meat.
Meat.
Meat. I like meat.
Well, on that note, Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week to